This is the last video you will ever need to watch about bad breath. We're not giving you a few tips. We're giving you a complete masterclass. Over the next 30 minutes, we will journey from A to Z through the science of oral malodor, from the anatomy of your tongue to the bacteria in your gut. You will leave this video with a PhD-level understanding of the problem and a simple, actionable, step-by-step plan to achieve lasting fresh breath and the social confidence that comes with it. Let's begin with Chapter 1, Understanding the Enemy. Why start with the science? Because if you understand what causes the smell, you stop fighting symptoms. You start winning the war. Persistent bad breath, known scientifically as halitosis, is much more than morning breath or the aftermath of an onion bagel. It's often a constant, silent force that erodes your confidence. It makes you lean away when you laugh. It makes you hesitant to speak up. It diminishes your everyday vitality, and that's precisely what we aim to fix. If you want crystal clear, step-by-step guidance to improve your health and confidence, make sure you subscribe to Silver Smile and Bites right now. We simplify health so you can thrive. So what is the smell exactly? The overwhelming majority of bad breath comes from volatile sulfur compounds, or VSCs. These are tiny gas molecules. They are created when anaerobic bacteria, the kind that hate oxygen, break down proteins in your mouth. This protein can come from old food particles, dead cells, or mucus. When those bacteria eat protein, they expel VSCs. Think of the smell of rotten eggs, old cabbage, or a sewer. That's hydrogen sulfide and methyl mercaptan, and those are the primary VSCs. The key to curing bad breath is starving these bacteria and removing their waste. This brings us to the most important question. Where exactly are these tiny troublemakers hiding? We need to pinpoint their three main habitats. If you only clean one area, the others quickly recontaminate. The first and most notorious hideout is the asterisk dorsal surface of the tongue. Think of your tongue like a thick, plush carpet. It is covered in thousands of tiny projections called papillae. These papillae create a perfect, oxygen-free environment. They trap food, dead cells, and mucus. This thick layer on the back of your tongue is the #1 source of VSCs for most people. You can brush your teeth flawlessly, but if you ignore that carpet, the smell remains. The second key habitat is asterisked below the gum line. When plaque and tartar build up, especially with age and receding gums, they create deep, dark pockets. These areas are low in oxygen, which is exactly where those sulfur-producing bacteria thrive. Cleaning this area requires specific techniques we will cover in the next chapter on the oral arsenal. Finally, the third habitat is asterisk around dental appliances and restorations. If you have dentures, partials, bridges, or even large fillings with microscopic gaps, these are prime nesting grounds for bacteria. They collect protein material that is left untouched by a normal toothbrush. If you understand that you are fighting an army hiding in 3 distinct locations, the tongue carpet, the gum pockets, and the appliances, you can build a strategy that actually works. Most people only attack the surface, which is why their problem always comes back. In the next chapter, We will show you exactly how to equip yourself to clean all three of these habitats thoroughly and gently. It's time to move beyond the basic toothbrush. Now that we know exactly who the enemy is and where they are hiding, we need the right weapons. This is Chapter 2, the Oral Arsenal. Most adults over 55 are still relying on tools that might not be effective for their specific needs. We need to upgrade your mechanical clean, focusing on gentleness and thoroughness. Let's start with the brush. If you are still using a hard bristled toothbrush, stop immediately. Hard bristles damage the gums and can accelerate recession, exposing those deeper pockets where VSEs hide. We want a soft or ultra-soft brush. For many, an electric toothbrush is superior, not because it scrubs harder, but because it handles the timing and consistency for you. It ensures you are using light pressure, and the circular motion reaches areas a manual brush often misses. When you brush, focus on the gum line, using small, gentle circular movements, not sawing back and forth. You are sweeping the plaque away, not sanding your teeth down. Next, the toughest challenge: cleaning the interdental spaces. Flossing is critical, but arthritis or limited dexterity can make traditional string floss nearly impossible. We have three alternatives. The first is Nearlium interdental brushes. These tiny Christmas tree-shaped brushes fit between your teeth and are much easier to grip and manipulate than string. They are excellent for removing larger particles and plaque. The second option is the tree-shaped string and tween your floss pick. While not as effective as string floss, it's better than nothing and requires only one hand. The third, and often the best option for seniors, is the water flosser. This uses a focused jet of water to clean between teeth and below the gum line. It's superb for people with implants, bridges, or mobility challenges. Use lukewarm water and focus the jet right at the gum line. Remember that number one habitat we discussed? The tongue carpet. Brushing your tongue with a toothbrush is inadequate. The bristles are too far apart, and the motion often just smears the bacteria around, causing a gag reflex. You need a dedicated tongue scraper. Scrapers are cheap, easy to use, and highly effective. Use it once every morning. Start at the very back of the tongue and pull forward gently, rinsing the scraper after each pass. You will immediately see the biofilm you remove. This single step can dramatically improve breath overnight. Finally, let's talk about rinses. Mouthwash is often misunderstood. Many popular brands rely on alcohol, which gives a sharp, clean feeling, but actually dries out the mouth. Dry mouth is the number one non-hygiene cause of bad breath. We are fighting VSCs, not supporting dry mouth. Use an alcohol-free rinse. Look for ingredients like chlorhexidine or cetylpyridinium chloride, but even better, a rinse specifically designed for dry mouth. Rinses should be used for tourist brushing and flossing, but not immediately after. Giving the fluoride from your toothpaste a few minutes to work before rinsing is often recommended. Your personalized oral arsenal should include a soft bristle electric brush, a water flosser, a tongue scraper, and an alcohol-free moisturizing rinse. Mastering these tools ensures you are mechanically cleaning all three of those bacterial hideouts. Now, let's talk about the body's natural defense that often fails as we age. The body's most powerful natural defense against bad breath is saliva. Saliva is the unsung hero of oral health. It constantly washes away food debris, neutralizes acids, and contains enzymes that kill harmful bacteria. But for many adults over 55, this defense system weakens. This brings us to Chapter 3, the lifestyle levers. The primary reason saliva fails is often simple: chronic dry mouth or xerostomia. This is often an unintended side effect of common medications taken for high blood pressure, allergies, anxiety, or depression. You must never stop taking prescribed medication, but you can fight the side effect. If you constantly feel the need to sip water or your mouth is sticky, you likely have dry mouth, and this is feeding the VSC bacteria. Dryness means a lack of oxygen and moisture, creating a perfect feast for the anaerobic bacteria we want to starve. To counteract this, we need a superhydration strategy. It's not just about drinking water when you're thirsty, it's about frequency. The goal is to keep the mouth moist constantly. Carry a reusable water bottle everywhere. Instead of gulping, practice the sip, swish, swallow technique throughout the day. A small sip, swish it around to wash the cheek and tongue surfaces, and then swallow. But sometimes, water isn't enough. We need to actively stimulate saliva flow. The fastest way to kick your glands into gear is through chewing. Chewing stimulates saliva production, but chewing the wrong thing is a disaster. Avoid sugary gums or hard candies, as that sugar feeds the VSCs. Instead, reach for asterisk sugar-free gum or mints containing xylitol. Xylitol is a natural sweetener that bacteria cannot metabolize, effectively starving them while triggering saliva flow. We can also use specific foods to our advantage. Crunchy, fibrous foods act as natural, mild cleansers. Think of an apple, celery sticks, or raw carrots. The act of chewing them promotes saliva, and the texture physically scrubs some plaque and biofilm. Furthermore, tart flavors are powerful saliva stimulators. A small squeeze of lemon in your water or sucking on a sugar-free tart candy can provide a burst of natural moisture. Avoid anything that actively dries the mouth. This includes excessive alcohol and, surprisingly, harsh, dark liquids like coffee and strong tea, which can stain and slightly dehydrate. If you enjoy coffee, follow it immediately with water and a xylitol mint. If lifestyle changes aren't enough, over-the-counter saliva substitutes, gels or sprays, can provide temporary relief and moisture, especially before bed when saliva naturally decreases. Ask your pharmacist about these gentle, non-medicated options. By consistently managing dry mouth, you strip the anaerobic bacteria of the perfect, oxygen-free environment they rely on. You're turning their favorite desert into a flood zone. Next, let's look at the powerful ways you can use your diet to balance the bacterial fight internally. We've conquered the mechanical cleaning and mastered hydration. Now we move from the surface to the inside with Chapter 4, the bacterial balance in nutrition. Bad breath often starts because of an imbalance. We have good bacteria and bad bacteria. The bad bacteria are the VSC producers. Our goal is to promote the good ones and starve the bad ones using simple nutrition. Think of your mouth and gut as linked ecosystems. What affects one often affects the other. We can target the bad VSC-producing bacteria by limiting what they love most: simple sugars and highly processed carbohydrates. These are instant fuel for odor-causing microbes. Even seemingly healthy snacks, like dried fruit, which is essentially concentrated sugar, can be problematic if eaten frequently throughout the day without immediate rinsing. When you snack, choose those saliva-stimulating options like apples and celery instead. Now let's look at the heroes. The key to balancing the oral environment is embracing probiotics. Probiotics are live, beneficial bacteria that can actually compete with and crowd out the VSC producers. Look for foods like plain yogurt, kefir, or fermented vegetables. Ensure your yogurt is low in sugar. A daily spoonful of probiotic-rich food can help restore a healthy balance, not just in your gut, but in your mouth as well. Next are the natural neutralizers. Certain foods and drinks contain compounds that help bind the sulfur molecules or inhibit the bacteria. Green tea is a superstar here. It contains powerful compounds called polyphenols that are linked to reducing the sulfur compounds that cause odor. Drinking a cup of unsweetened green tea can be a powerful way to freshen breath naturally. Similarly, herbs like parsley and mint contain chlorophyll, which is a known natural deodorizer. Chewing on a sprig of fresh parsley after a meal can provide a quick, temporary lift. Crucially, watch your fat and protein intake. While protein is essential, high-protein, low-carb diets can sometimes lead to a state called ketosis. While medically safe for some, ketosis produces chemicals called ketones, which are released on your breath. This creates a distinct, somewhat fruity but often unpleasant odor that brushing cannot fix. If you follow a specific diet and notice persistent breath issues, consult your doctor or dietitian. By making simple swaps, more crunchy vegetables and probiotics, less refined sugar, you are using food as medicine. You are actively engineering an oral environment where the odor-causing bacteria struggle to survive. This nutritional approach supports all the mechanical efforts we covered earlier. But what if you've done all this and the smell lingers? That means the problem might not be your mouth at all. That's our next critical chapter. You've perfected your brushing. You scrape your tongue daily. You've hydrated like a champion and adjusted your diet. Yet the odor persists. This is the critical moment where we move to Chapter 5, Beyond the Mouth. Bad breath can sometimes be a red flag for a systemic issue, especially in the 55-plus age group. It's important to know when to shift your focus from your toothbrush to your doctor. One major non-oral source is Asterisk, Dopskstoff 2020 2020 2020 2020 2020 2020 2020 2020 Anophthalmon nasal drip Dopskstoff 2020. As we age, mucous membranes can change, and chronic sinus drainage is common. When mucus drips down the back of your throat, it coats your tongue and tonsils. This mucus is protein-rich, providing a feast for those same anaerobic bacteria we discussed earlier. If your breath is worse when you have a cold or allergies, or if you frequently feel the need to clear your throat, sinus drainage could be the culprit. Managing this requires keeping your sinuses clear, often through saline rinses or humidifier use. Another common source, often overlooked, is gastric tonsil stones. Your tonsils have small crevices or crypts. Food debris, dead cells, and bacteria can get trapped in these pockets and solidify into small, hard, white, or yellowish stones, called tonsilloliths. They are tiny infection points that release a foul odor, sometimes even tasting metallic. They often fall out on their own, but if they are chronic, they can cause persistent odor. If you suspect tonsil stones, consult an ear, nose, and throat specialist. The third major systemic culprit is gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD. This is when stomach acid flows back up into the esophagus and throat. While GERD typically causes heartburn, it can also release sulfurous gases from the stomach into the mouth. The resulting odor often smells sour or acidic and is worse after eating or when lying down. If you notice a burning sensation in your chest or throat, especially combined with persistent bad breath, talk to your primary care physician about managing reflux. Simple changes like eating smaller meals, avoiding eating within 3 hours of bedtime, and elevating your head when sleeping can often make a difference. Remember, the vast majority of bad breath times manageable with the techniques in chapters 1 through 4, but persistent, mysterious odor, especially when combined with other symptoms like a sore throat, chronic cough, or heartburn, is a signal from your body that needs professional attention. Don't self-diagnose, but use this knowledge to have a focused conversation with your doctor or dentist. They can help rule out underlying conditions like liver, kidney, or diabetic issues, which can sometimes present with distinct breath odors. Knowing the difference between oral odor and systemic odor is key to finding your final solution. We've covered the science and the external fixes. Now let's talk about putting this into a simple, easy-to-follow plan for your daily life. We have traveled from the anatomy of your tongue to the inner workings of your gut. We now possess the complete A to Z knowledge. It is time for Chapter 6, Your Personalized Action Plan. Knowledge is only power if you put it to work. We are going to distill everything into a simple, maintainable routine that takes less than 10 minutes a day. This is your foundation for lasting confidence. Your routine starts the moment you wake up. Step 1. The morning clean. Asterisk. Before you eat or drink anything, especially coffee, perform your mechanical clean. First, use your tongue scraper. This is the single most effective way to remove the night's buildup. Then, brush gently with your soft bristle brush, focusing on the gum line. Follow this with your water flosser or interdental brush to remove any lingering debris between your teeth and under the gum line. This sequence neutralizes the night's bacterial party before you introduce any food or drink. Asterisk. Step 2. The midday hydration and neutralization. Asterisk. This is where we combat dry mouth and neutralize food odors. After lunch, if brushing isn't feasible, thoroughly swish with plain water for 30 seconds. Chew a piece of sugar-free xylitol-containing gum for 5 minutes to boost saliva flow. If you feel dry throughout the day, use the sip, swish, swallow technique to keep moisture levels high. Think of your mouth as constantly needing irrigation. Step 3. The evening deep clean. Asterisk. The pre-bed routine is critical because saliva production slows dramatically during sleep. This is when bacteria multiply fastest. Repeat the tongue scraping, brushing, and flossing routine. This time, add an alcohol-free rinse. Swish for 60 seconds to coat the surfaces and provide moisture through the night. If you use dentures or partials, ensure they are removed, scrubbed, and soaking according to your dentist's instructions. Do not sleep with appliances that haven't been cleaned. Asterisk moves. Step 4. The nutritional habit. Asterisk. Incorporate those fresh breath heroes we discussed. Make crunchy, fibrous vegetables your default snack. Add a spoonful of plain, low-sugar yogurt or kefir to your breakfast. Drink green tea instead of a second cup of coffee. These small, nutritional shifts stabilize your oral environment constantly, making it less hospitable to VSCs. This 4-step plan is flexible, adapted to your life. The goal is consistency, not perfection. If you forget to floss one day, simply pick it up the next. The biggest obstacle for most seniors is the complexity of managing too many health tasks. By integrating these 4 steps, you are creating simple habits that compound into major health benefits. You are not just fighting bad breath. You are investing in total oral vitality, which supports better nutrition and overall health. We are nearing the end, but before we finish, we must talk about the single most critical step in maintaining success. We have covered everything from the chemistry of VSCs to your daily checklist. But there is one final crucial component that ties this entire masterclass together: consistency and the confidence payoff. This is Chapter 7. Achieving lasting fresh breath isn't a one-time fix. It's a lifestyle commitment. You must commit to this routine not for a week but every day. Why? Because the anaerobic bacteria that cause odor are resilient. They are opportunistic. If you slack off on tongue scraping for 2 days, they will start rebuilding their stronghold. Consistency is your final weapon against recurrence. Put your new oral arsenal, the scraper, the water flosser, the xylitol mints, where you can see them. Make the process automatic. We also need to address 2 common questions from our senior audience. First, my gums bleed when I floss. Should I stop? Absolutely not. Bleeding gums usually indicate inflammation caused by plaque buildup. If you bleed, it means you need to be cleaning that area more gently and more consistently. The bleeding should reduce dramatically within a week of consistent, proper technique. If it doesn't, see your dentist immediately. Second, my medications make my mouth so dry, I feel like I'm losing the fight. If medication is the primary cause, you need to rely heavily on those saliva stimulants. Chew xylitol gum almost constantly. Keep a container of those sugar-free tart candies nearby. Most importantly, ensure you are drinking water that is cool, not icy cold, as icy water can sometimes irritate dry tissues. Remember, we cannot eliminate the medication, but we can manage the side effect vigorously. The payoff for this commitment is immense. It's not just about what others smell. It's about your self-assurance. When you eliminate bad breath, you eliminate that tiny, constant worry. You reclaim your social vitality. You lean in when you talk. You laugh freely. You can focus entirely on the conversation and the person in front of you, without that draining self-consciousness. That confidence is the ultimate reward for your efforts. We've delivered the complete A to Z plan, and now the action is yours. If you found this masterclass helpful, if you learned something new about your body and how to take control of your oral vitality, please hit the like button. It tells us we should keep simplifying these complex health topics for you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Silver Smile and Bites. We provide gentle, evidence-based steps to improve everyday life for adults 55 and up. Your journey to lasting fresh breath starts today. Take that first step. We are here to help you shine.